I was saying welcome, welcome, and we weren't live. And how come my iPhone is? I have no idea.
Oh my God!
And
you.
Why?
Oh my goodness!
I was looking all over YouTube and Facebook. And
Yeah, right.
I don't see it. You must be going to the secret private place.
Secret live. It's the secret.
Now he's live. Now he's live.
Oh my goodness! Here we go. 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 Here we go.
Where are we going live?
We are going live with Lem Drops.
All right, I'll share it to the group.
We are live on the Lem Drops.
Here.
Yup. Doc, is that your own?
What's happening right now? Is Doc singing?
No, because he was saying, here we go. So I was singing domino. Here we go.
There you go.
Here we go, yo.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. We are in the house. We got an incredible lineup today, y'all.
All right. There's live
Anytime India is involved, it's an incredible line.
Yep.
Lines is from the top. That's the way we come to do it.
Hey, is this freestyle session?
Freestyle. My name is Dr. Rockin' over there. Black man, you know the microphone check it. And 1, 2, 3, you're about to get blessed.
Go.
The beat, it never stops. The kid is from Hawaii, but my boy Lemon drives from NY.
Hey!
When she is straight and styling, and you know we got a wallet. So listen up close, grab your notepad, write it. You wanna come and check it, cause the live will be excited. Knowledge just coming, you know you're gonna learn. So come and turn the fire up, burn, baby, burn. Now one more time, now won't you check it, just remember, the limit come be dropping, and it's time for you to get enough of your hands. Learn the knowledge for your dome. You won't be all alone, cause we straight to the bone. Come check 1, 2. Yo, is this thing working? This all about
Stone is in the house.
Girl, there is no twerking. Not running, just wreck it. You know we never stop to Dr. Rock in your Chris, David, and Lemon Drop. Whoa.
Nice. Whoa.
Nice.
Whoa. Everybody coming in.
You gotta come out the jacket.
Dang, Doc.
Man, Doc, you throwing it down, bro.
Doc,
I don't know
the lyrics.
I don't know what about we. Them no worry way.
What? Y'all, the party is in the house.
What me know, man? What me know? Blue shirt memo.
Oh my goodness.
Gold letter.
Yo, I should know. I should know. The crew is in the house. And we are going to have a good time tonight. I got some friends up in here in the comment section. Whoop. My boy Tyrese saying, what up? Rock your mic. There you go. Doc did rock the mic right there.
Oh, he's spitting them lyrics.
Yeah. Look at Machete up in the block.
Machete.
Slice the dice.
Even Chris Stone is in the house. What's good, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
What's going on? What's up with you?
Hey, champion.
What's up with y'all?
This is the inaugural show for my Monday night lives at 8 p.m. Normally 8 p.m., but we ran it a little bit late. We did have my Bible study happened at 7 p.m., and we kind of ran a little long, but it was all good and gravy. But thanks, everybody, for hanging out. I've got with me the all-star panel of Let's Get Live VIP. I know we got some people that are missing, but what? I'm just pumped. I'm sorry. I'm going to misbehave tonight. Let's just put that out there. Just because some of my favorite people in the internet are in this live right now, y'all. I gotta change my background color even. But let's go, India. Kind of share a little bit who you are, what's up, what you do, and give a little bit of insight as to our conversation tonight, which is in celebration of the life of the one and only Martin Luther King Jr., the Doctor.
Hello, everyone. I am a banker by day and crazy Puerto Rican that annoys Doc Rock and Lem and David and the Let's Get Live crew by night. See, Doc's like, you got it, mommy. That was it. I'm India Delgado. I do mortgages, so I am a banker. I help my community obtain their homes and get into home ownership. So if you want to talk to me about that, let's connect. And then everything else, I just help people, whether it's with live streaming, whether it's understanding tech, whether it's figuring out, software and things to make yourselves efficient. I am an admin for the Let's Get Live group. I work with these amazing men, and we are just here for the community to give back. And that's the basis of what we're going to talk about today. Giving back, generational giving back, or whatever Lem titled it for, right? Whatever that title was.
It's all good.
But giving back.
somewhere there.
Live stream is the title. Live stream.
Right. But just giving back and helping out and, really talking about how important it is to have a community, because without your community, you cannot be successful. They talk about when you have kids, it takes a village. Is the same thing when you are trying to be successful in a business or just glow up as a person. It takes a community to challenge you. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, y'all.
That's so awesome. Mr. Gloss, can you please share to us your amazingness? Now, how am I changing this? Hold on. I'll work it out. I'll work it out. There it is. There it is.
You got
Hey, after India's presentation, give me a few moments to gather myself. The way she done dropped the mic like that. That's hot pizza right there. I can't write that. I can't do that with that. Hey, I'm Chris Gloss, to some known as the Possibilitarian. I'm a performance coach. I
like that.
I believe
in helping people become a finisher in a world of starters. I highly believe in this message of giving. I feel like such a student tonight, because the way Doc demonstrates giving and creates a whole community. And Lem, your message about this giving economy, yes, I am just emotionally, I was just pumped up for this moment tonight, because the message that comes across in celebrating the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I believe personally that he lived his life as a seed so he could give for generations to come. And it hasn't stopped. That wave is still a huge wave. And just excited to be here tonight to listen, to learn, and connect.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's powerful. I'm feeling it right now, y'all. I am really feeling it. We're going to leave the good doctor for last. So let's do our good buddy, Mr. David Blackman. Let me switch this up here.
I've got to follow those two. Are you kidding me? Hey, everybody. My name is David Blackman, and I own a software development company. We create plugins and themes for WordPress, but more importantly, I guess, along with this topic tonight and special Martin Luther King Jr. to celebrate his legacy, my entire company was built on giving it away, basically. And so I'm very passionate about this topic. I feel very strongly about it. I feel like it's what I am called to do, is to share and give as much as I can. And the funny thing is that if you do that, you're blessed beyond measure.
Yes.
So, and I have been. So I'm glad to be here. Thanks, Lem.
Oh, thank you, sir. And we are so blessed to have the man with us here, the Doctor of Pain himself is in the house.
Wow.
What's up, Doc?
Doc Rock.
Drill Sergeant.
Hoy, pare. Mabuhay. Ma'am, thank you, brother, for inviting me to your special thing. Again, I am like maybe the first 2 times guest. I'm gonna be like Saturday Night Live, where after 5 times I get a jacket. But yeah, man, straight up appreciate this. I am ever moved every day by what our community is doing and what our community is creating. When I started it, I invited my boy Wedge, you and Alicio, and my brother June, and it was the 5 of us for the longest time, enjoying life. And then somehow India and Miss D decided to snitch on us.
Right.
And we're about to hit 400 folks, son.
Whoop.
Wow.
It's mind blowing to me, and it's still a small number,
Yeah.
but to me, it's a million folks. That essay that's on Medium by your 1,000 true fans. I'm gonna have to rewrite that joint and just be 400 family members, because it's even different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got the grace. Even look right there on screen, RK3. We got so many good people. I saw Preston Soa's in the building.
Yes.
Brother Andrew is here, Miss Sylvia, and Miss Eileen,
Lola.
the cat, and now Cat.
That's
we got
right.
3 cats.
Now my
Lola,
Machete is in the place. Left lock.
it's crazy,
One and
man.
only.
It's crazy the amount of people that came together, quickly wrapped around each other, and are now revibrating our giving spirit to other places, which is all we want to do. And big shouts out to my man David over there.
Yeah.
Hunt. Not you, Black Man, Hunt. because I don't know, Dave. It's because he sung this out.
I knew who you were talking about. I knew who you were talking about.
Okay, because
I
he
saw him
sung
too.
this out the other day, and he left
yeah.
everybody in a good mood. And I'm just like, man, our group is crazy, bro. It's crazy, and we're open. So if you want to get down, you're a creator. You're trying to figure out how to use your creative skills to bless the rest of the planet. You're welcome. Just come through. Don't put your feet on the couch. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Amen.
I
Preston
would
Soa.
put the link in the chat, but unlike you, I'm not a moderator, so I can't.
There you go. Nobody's a moderator yet.
No, I'm not a mod
I'm not
either.
even a moderator myself, so I don't know what I'm doing. But y'all, let me preface this conversation. Number one, Doc and I go way back. We go way back about last year. Sometime in April, we hopped into Ecamm Live, maybe a day or two after each other, and your boy, the doctor, has always been. He is what he is. He's just finding. Well, his giving has opened up a lot of platforms for him, so people are beginning to see him more often and more solidly, and understand that the doors that has opened before him really began a long time before we got here, because of the life of benevolence that he lived. And but just to tell a little bit of our story, we came in and together, and I interviewed him in June, and he was talking about, he really kind of checked my spirit. It began my journey into this into this environment where I was watching how the givers were going to change the future. It really was, because Bradley Vincent was going into Ecamm Live. And for those of you that do not know, Ecamm Live is the software that I'm currently using. Check out the link that will be there after this video is done to get the affiliate link for this software. But anyway, so Bradley, Doc, and I were giving into that Ecamm community, and Bradley was creating some digital animations, and I came on, and I was also doing some digital animation. Somebody came in and asked in my private messages, "Hey, Lemuel, can I use some of your stuff?" And I was like, "Hey, man, I put some work into it, put some hours into it. I'm not even sure how to price it. I don't know what's going on." I was looking at certain people that were actually doing this animation stuff, and I realized that they were charging a set amount of money. And I'm thinking, okay, I don't know that much. I'm just getting into it. My animations are nice, but I don't know what to price it. And then I got to speak to this dude. I guess, where is it? To my right. And he started talking about, I'm not really sure. I'm giving, and that's all I want to do. I want to give what I have. I want to give so that I could build a community. I want to give so I could build up into this place where I'm giving of myself, and I just want to see others develop. Bro, I'm telling you right now, I'm a pastor since I was 22 years old. That was last year, so 24 years of pastoring. I talked about giving. I talked about
That was
all of these
last year.
things. Yeah, that was last year, right? So all 20 something years, and I've talked about giving. But I'm new to the marketplace, so I'm new into pricing, and I'm a professional photographer, so I priced, and we talk about pricing and things like that, and making sure that you're paid for what you give, for what you have out there. You're supposed to get paid. And now there's this guy telling me I'm just going to give, and whatever comes my way, I'm going to receive it. And man, I was like a check in my spirit. I was like, look at this guy, a self-proclaimed heathen. For those of you that do not know Doc, check out his Doc Rock is his YouTube channel, and it was like a check in my spirit. So I came back to the private messages, and I'm like, look, I'm giving my animations away. You could give whatever it is that you want to give for it. It's up to you. And Bradley was doing the same. Hey, look, just give whatever it is that you want to give in this Gumroad. And sure enough, people gave. But that really brought me into this new era, and I did not get to it until the latter part of Vlogmas of December, when Clubhouse began to pop off, and all these mega YouTube stars came into the scene. And I mean, I saw Doc. He was doing it. Diane was doing it. Diane, did I just call? Oh, Diana is gonna kill me. Oh my Lord.
You did. Who's Diane?
So Diana was giving it. Everybody was giving it, but it did not crystallize to me until I began to see the power, because Doc's clout began to open up really wide. And it did not begin from a point of, hey, I'm going to charge you for what I have. It came into a point of, I'm going to give you what I have. And I'm going to let whatever come my way. So that's what we're here for, man. I really want to make the channel about this giving economy. And let's just share a little bit. I know I spoke about Doc a little bit. Doc, can you share a little bit what exactly was going on through your journey, and kind of just saying, I'm going to give, and then all of a sudden, can you just tell that time when floodgates just begin to open and you're just like, wow, look what's happening?
Honestly, it's just how I was raised. It's kind of funny. It's just the thing. It's literally how I was raised. And I just thought, like, man, there's so many people that are in trouble. And, we got told we were going to be on lockdown for like 30 days when we first started. And then when we started doing the, you and I just popping up live inside Ecamm community or whatever, I was like, man, if we can get everybody up to speed so that they can rock out, in the next 30 days, when they open their businesses back up, they'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
They can use the streaming stuff in order to like attract new customers or recover their business or whatever. And here we are, 10 months later, we're still in the exact same spot where we was, but people are succeeding, like Brother Fulgens was one of the first ones that used to hit me up and ask me questions. Same with India. And, I would just be like, oh yeah, all you gotta do is do this, do this, do that, do this. And then, I look at, Fully now, and his streams are fire, and
Right.
they're changing people because, of course, everybody started, he's in the fitness game and, some nonprofits, some other stuff like that. One of our first conversations was about, he was doing a panel on like, I guess, women recovering from DV. And, of course, the situation, you shouldn't say the P word or the C word on the YouTube. Their algorithm don't like it when they read the subtitles. But the situation, leaving people locked up, was starting to do work on family values, so he was like, I got this thing, it's going to be in like 2 days and I need to get all this stuff together. So we just started talking about how to get things going, like how to line up your overlays in your screens so that he could do his event. And then that turned into them doing their fitness stuff. Of course, people started to get a little fluffy from being stuck at home. And then it was just incredible. Like we just kept finding the right folk, hey, I'm trying to do this and I just need to know about this lighting thing, or I'm trying to do this, I need to know about this capture card or lack of capture card, or and so you and I just kept going live, just like answering all the people's crazy questions and stuff. And man, it just felt good to know that, you know, helping someone out and they turn around and help out a bunch of people. I saw it as an opportunity to hit my goal, which I wrote in a notebook many, many years ago, that I wanted to positively affect, you know, billions of people's lives. When I wrote that, I thought I was going to be a hip hop star. We were writing albums, writing music, you know, doing concerts and all of that. And then our group exploded because one of my partners had a heart attack at a very young age.
Oh.
And I thought, okay, that dream was over. 20 some odd years later, the dream is alive in Portland. Sleep till 11, because now we're doing it through Ecamm, and I know that. Okay, let's just say I got to the 4 of you. I know that each one of y'all has probably done it to like another couple thousand folks from what you're delivering, and so it's rippling like, you know, rock in the water kind of thing. Bruce Lee, be like water, my friend.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Awesome.
powerful. I want to go around. I want to go around the panel. We want to celebrate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but I just want to get into that place of giving for a minute and how giving has affected the way you're moving in this era and what you're seeing. So anybody can pick it up, because I know y'all are speakers, so I'm not going to point out anybody. Just jump in.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and jump in. One of the things that I love about giving is that no matter where you are in life, no matter what your state, you can always give. You know, so I started the Vlogmas 5 days late, because the previous 20 days leading up to Vlogmas, my brother was murdered. My godmother, who helped raise me, she passed away. I had another family pass away, and a sister was in a coma for COVID. So when I came into the Vlogmas community, the giving spirit helped lifted me, and I knew what I could contribute was limited, but I knew that I could give. And giving became the balm, which helped me heal through the process. So for me, Vlogmas was a healing journey and a healing process. So the giving aspect of it became the balm. It became the medication for me. It became the thing that helped me rise up every morning, because I knew I could watch people's videos. I knew I could like them. I knew I could comment. I knew I could show up in the meetings just to support. So there's always something that I knew that I could, the thing I knew I could do is to give, until I found my feet again, until I got my own wind. I knew I could give. And that's the powerful thing I love about giving, and why I'm so connected to this community and connected to your message, because when all else fails, I know that's something that I could do that could help rescue me from the position I was in life.
Chris.
Bruh. Dude,
Firstly, I wanna just send our condolences. We did not know that. And the powerful thing about it, right, guys, that when Chris hopped into Vlogmas, we didn't realize that he came in 5 days later. It did not even sound as though there were any things that were happening in his life. He came with fire, conviction, and a desire to really turn up the community into a greater place.
Well,
Brother Chris, first of all, I want to
there.
echo. Let me do
go
this
ahead,
for
Doc.
Chris. I want to echo Lim's expressions of condolences. Like, we didn't know, and bruh, that moves me that, you know,
I'm
you were
getting
going
emotional
through
right
that.
now.
Yeah, I know, I'm having a hard time. I'm over 50. We cry.
Yeah, we cried.
Having that level of commitment to the group while you were going through such things, and brought value, brought fire to everyone, bruh. Like, now I'm gonna get even more pissed at people making dumb excuses. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna put you on blast and say, like, you know, this brother was doing that during this time, but come on, fam. Like, pay yourself a little bit of celebration for being able to pick yourself up doing something as messed up as that. Like, come on, fam. There's people out here who just got called a name on social media and they feel like they was murdered and your brother was actually murdered. Like, that's, man, I can't even I can't even process that, you know, right now. So first of all, we love you, and I'm more so much respect for you that you came through for everybody and brought your smile. Like Gloss Up came from the way you rolled in. Like you rolled in glowing like all was good.
Yeah,
And,
you did.
and
You really did, man.
Immediately tagged you as Gloss Up because you was fire. And so, like, bruh, that yeah, man, I love you, fam. That's all I can say. I mean, I'm gonna get stuck with this one.
You.
And you shut down a Puerto Rican. I can't even speak. That's impossible. So
hey,
so
it's the community's love that
thank
got
you,
me out of bed every day. So that's why I love this community. It's because of what you created and what you show up for every day and just freely give that got me out of bed, that gave me the energy to speak when my voice was trying to be robbed. So in that spirit of giving, it's because you gave first, right? You didn't ask for anything. You just gave freely of your ideas, your energy, your mission, your focus, and it helped me not go into a deep dark place, but just come to a place where I can still give freely and share with others. So I'm just excited and grateful just to be around such a great group of individuals. You know, every day it fuels and fires me up.
And it's interesting. You even right. This is you guys. You all know. You could jump in this. Is it the fact that every time you start your Vlogmas video and the videos you do now, you say champion.
Champions, yeah.
And
that's what I
for a man that has lost.
So much.
Yeah, that's what I thought of. I said, man, you know, even if he didn't post videos or whatever, it was like every day you commented, every day, you know, you showed support. And it was always, what's up, champion? Great job, champion. You know, you were motivating me that it was like, okay, I got to do something next. All right, I got to keep on, you know. And if you had not shared, and I think, did you put a post? I feel like you might have shared at one point.
Yeah, in one video I did.
You did, right? I think you did. I remember it was one, but you didn't share everything. But I remember you shared certain tidbits, and I remember that. And you know, but now to hear the whole story, right, where it's rough. I can only imagine it's rough, and you did not show it. So it's like, okay, let's just shut it down. That's it. Listen, do what Chris did.
No, we got it.
Nobody else needs to say anything else. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought about too. Is you know, I didn't come into Vlogmas. I didn't participate in Vlogmas. I came in late December, like in the last week of December, into this amazing community. And after hearing your story now, Chris, I reflect back on the videos that you were putting out and how you were greeting everyone and encouraging everyone and calling them champions. It was
right.
It's even more profound now than it was then. It was awesome then, but to know this now, that you were in that emotional state is just makes it even more amazing. I think for myself, you know, the spirit of giving started when I was in my early 20s. I was like a lot of early 20s, ripping, roaring, you know, causing chaos, and something needed to change in my life. And I did. And I found a wonderful mentor that, you know, that helped me greatly. And I would go and I would talk to this person almost every day. And, you know, I'd go talk to him and I'd ask him, you know, you got a lot of problems and stuff. When you don't have the solution and you don't know which way to turn in your life, all you can talk about are the problems that are going on in your life. And that's all I had at the time. And every time I would go over to Dick's house, Dick would sit there and he'd say, you know, I'd talk about my work problems or my personal problems or my relationship problems. And he'd look at me and he'd say, David, he said, I tell you what, I says, why don't you do this? Why don't you go help somebody? And I would shake my head and I would scratch. And I was like, how is helping somebody going to get my rent paid on the first? How is helping somebody going to solve my relationship problem with my girlfriend? He said, hey, just go help somebody. So for whatever reason, I decided to trust this man, and I decided to try to just serve people and to try to help them in any capacity that I could. And the benefits that I got because of that philosophy, the rent was always paid. You know, the relationships sorted themselves out, the jobs sorted themselves out. And so in learning that at a very young age, it was very profound for me to know that that a community of service is going to benefit me great long term, big time long term. I'm saying that wrong, but big time.
Generationally, I think what you're saying, and that's the word that I used to describe the giving of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the generational giving. Sometimes we look at our lives, and much like what's been spoken here, we think that I'm just going to give for the moment. But what happens when you give is that the gift just keep on giving, right? What I've always been saying is that when you begin to give, it opens up giving in the hearts of people.
It does.
Yep.
And that giving is what keeps the cycle, what begins the cycle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll change your life. True. I mean, it'll solve all your problems. It did mine. I can't speak for anybody else, but it definitely has solved a lot of my problems.
Yeah. Hey, Lim, I heard a quote once that God hides everything that you're looking for, all the treasures in life. He hides it in the hearts and in the people around you. And your job is to figure out what that combination is. And that combination is usually giving, right? When you give all of yourself, when it has that right combination of vulnerability, that right combination of love, it'll open any safe around you. And that's where those true and lasting treasures are. We already have everything that we could possibly want or need, right? And it's right inside of the hearts and the people around us. I mean, you think about like the community, what Doc has created. There is and I heard him on, I think it was Clubhouse the other day, talking about how much talent is in this group, how much untapped talent is in this group. So everything each one of us need exists here. And it's all about that giving, that love is going to unlock and open the vault for everybody to feel like they're in a safe environment to share. And we all rise together because of it.
Yeah, you know what, that first one that kind of set that ball in motion was Andrew and Sylvia.
Yeah.
Like we opened the group and like they came in on like the second or third day or whenever Miss D snitched. I remember inviting Sylvia in right away because she posted in the ECAM group or something like, how do I get in this thing? And then we let them in. And then it was like second or third day. They was like, oh, we're going to make these shirts so everybody can, have a little fit, so they can get their swag on. And knowing that the purple thing was my thing is an homage to bring awareness to Alzheimer's. They was like, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to make purple shirts and just, throw something down to the Alzheimer's.org and stuff for Doc, just for setting this up. Bro, I'm over there like reading that, sitting in the corner, like weeping like somebody stole my Doritos. And it was like, man, that was the beginning. Like that kicked off what became like everybody in the group just wanting to be like that. And so you're right, Gloss, man. What you need the most when you need it the most is like right around you. You know what I'm saying? And man, that was, yeah, it's crazy. So now there's people like, hey, I want to write this book. We got that taken care of, Now there's people like, hey, I need to get my branding and stuff straight. We got that taken care of.
Right.
It's like Prego. It's in there.
It's in there, right? Yeah, yeah. Like it's all in there. And in Hawaii, we call that a calabash, where people would just take all of the any kind. I start speaking Hawaiian words now. Take all of the things from various places, and they would throw it in the middle, and then make a calabash. It was these giant like wooden bowls, and you just throw everything in it, and you get this kind of sort of mix. Today, that is represented when you go to restaurants here. They have what's known as a plate lunch, and then so there's chicken rong rice, from like the Philippines, and there's like Portuguese bean soup from Portugal. They say Portuguese here, not Portuguese. There'll be the like a roast pig, Hawaiian style, kalua pig on the same plate. Then you'll have like chicken katsu curry, which is Japanese, and it's all in the same plate. And during the plantation diet, everybody got sick of eating the same thing. So they would start to mix and match their various foods together and spread it out. So everybody was eating something, because that from your country, that looks interesting. We don't have that, And then so we generated this plate lunch or this calabash out of the amalgamation of the best of all of the various parts. And it's the reason why Honolulu is the second thickest city in the United States of America. Because it's good. It's
They
good.
know how to
What's
eat. They know how
first,
to
South
eat.
Louisiana?
No, someplace in Texas.
I think it was the same as menudo. Isn't that what menudo soup is? Like a mixture of just whatever you got left.
It's just a mixture, whatever, bro. Whatever everybody got, you just throw it in there.
Yeah.
So it's cool because our group is extremely like that, you know, and it's funny, like when Rel and I were talking in the private call the other day, accidentally and probably because of my influence of living here in Hawaii, our group turned into that, you know, the Hawaii style thing where you're a Hana. First day you're a guest, second day you're a Hana. Second day you come to my crib, you doing dishes or something, you know. Can I get some water? Why, yes, you can. Knock yourself out, you know. And so I just really appreciate, you know, the fire, the energy, and the giving that's coming through. And sometimes you just don't even realize it because it's so normal to us now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I mean,
powerful.
to speak of Chris, you know, how that he said, just getting into the group really kind of pulled him out of a situation, and we just responded and said, "Well, we didn't even know," and that's the power of giving, right? Because you don't know where people are in their journey. You don't know where people are in their life, and when you're living a life of giving, you don't know the quality of help that you're providing somebody just because of who you are and just because you wanted to share a part of you. And you know, in celebration of the Dr. Martin Luther King, I want to kind of get into this place about fear, the fear of not receiving back what you give, right? Because the man obviously, I can't imagine that he was not fearful, but I just imagine that he fought that fear with a desire to say, you know what, I've got to give, no matter how afraid I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you know the truth, you can't deny it. So, you know, and I think, you know, Dr. King knew the truth. You know, he was convicted at his core for what he believed in. And when you have that kind of conviction and you have that kind of truth, you cannot go against it, you know, no matter what's going on, especially when you see as many people suffering that were suffering at that time, you know. So I think he had the truth and he knew it, and he was the person to share that message. So
yeah, think about his speech, even when he said that I may not get there with you. I mean, that is such a vision of a seed, knowing that you're not going to be able to get to that promised land with the people that you were leading, but at the same time, you see yourself as being the catalyst, being that seed to unlock the future for generations to come. I mean, just by saying those words is just key to his insight on what he was giving, the ultimate sacrifice, right? Willing to lay your life down for other people so that they don't have to endure what you and the people before you endured. So that act of giving, it just had to be embedded in him. I mean, throughout the fiber of his being.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, that's prophetic as all get. And to know that and still be like, every day I'm going to get up and I'm going to press because this is bigger than me.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Like finding that thing in your life that is bigger than you, and then being able to work at it is different.
Come on.
Like, I remember last week, Saturday or something like that, we were on a stream and somebody was talking about finding the time to do this or that. And I kind of went in. I was like, move the clock back 5 minutes. And then after you get good at that, move it back 10 minutes and then 15 and then 30. And next thing you know, it's an hour. You know what I mean? And like when that joint first goes off, every ounce says press the snooze button.
Right.
But when I decided this was like, you know, what we finna do, and I was like, okay, I gotta get up, you know. So in the beginning, I still would press it one more again and get them 8 more minutes. and then we would go off. Okay, then the second one I'll get up. But then as we started doing the community stuff, started to realize that, folks need my help. It was easier to put their feet on the floor, go brush the fronts, throw the coffee in the neck, and then come down to the studio and start, helping folks out. And then now when the joint goes off, there's no inclination to press the snooze. It's literally feet to the ground. Hey, let's do this. We got to go. So I get up, get to brewing my little coffee. I check in. India done already messaged me like 50 times, girl. Understand time zones. I'm 6 hours behind you. 3:20 something. I'm like, oh, you're what the heck?
Good morning, mi gente.
I had to put that joint on do not disturb. But so once you find out that like helping you folks, and again, like the majority of my community are like ministers. So if I'm helping you put your stream together and you guys are helping people not get twisted during this, again, situation, I guess I'm not just helping the 300-400 of us, of which, let's say 60% are ministerial. I don't know if that's a word.
It is tonight.
It is tonight right now. It's in the doc dictionary right now.
It's spreading, right? So like I don't know how many folks Lim is talking to, or Keith is talking to, or Phil, Edge. I don't know how much folks he's talking to, but I guarantee if we start adding up all of these folks that all of y'all are talking to, the twins, like everybody, it's a lot of folks. And then so now when the snooze thing, monsters start, okay, you can press that button. Nah, man, because you about to affect the benefits of a whole heap of folks. I don't even know what that number is, but I'm imagining it's a lot of folks. And so now the snooze button is like all these folks looking at me from New York, New Jersey, Staten Island, Florida, Ashland, Oregon, Portland, like all over the world. Don't forget
UK.
Like UK,
PI.
Yeah.
Like, hey, all right. So now when the alarm goes off, it's like, okay, foots, floor, teeth, coffee, let's go.
Wow.
I forgot oatmeal and high blood pressure medicine, but you know what it is.
Can we address a little bit? I mean, Doc is talking about perseverance and kind of getting into a mode where it's about the people that you're affecting, and I think that drove Dr. King, right? His heart, his mind, not for himself, but for others. Can we just talk a little bit about getting that drive, not because of what you want to achieve, but how you want to serve your community?
Yeah, that's your why. I think it all goes back to your why, right? Yeah. I mean, your why should get you up out of bed in the morning, right? And your community is included in your why, your audience, your family. All those things are included in your why. And I like to share, if your why don't make you cry, you haven't defined what your why is yet, right? The reason why you get up early in the morning and you like Doc said, you put the feet to the floor or the foots to the floor and you go brush your teeth and do all that. I have an image of the people I care about and love the most, right? So powerful. Bigger than me. I'm not even in the picture, right? So if you could remove yourself out of that picture and see those people that you care about most, and that's your why, that will motivate you to get up even when you don't want to. You don't want to click live. You may not want to go ahead and cut the lights on. You may not want to read the book, watch the videos. You may not want to do that, but your why is driving you to do it because you see the future and not your present.
Yeah, I think for me, as I was trying to become closer with God and just come one with my spirituality and things like that, one of the things that, you hear a lot is about the gift that God has blessed you with, your calling or whatever the case may be. And, I'm 38, so obviously I'm still young, but I'm old or whatever, I'm kind of in between, right? I was waiting for Doc to say something smart, but it's okay.
You're younger than all of us in this panel, I think.
It'll come. Right, I'm a baby, right? Like I know that. Like that's a reality.
Dude.
And so,
baby Dia.
Yes. And so for me, like I would read about it and it was like, okay, so like I've always been in leadership roles. I've always been some sort of manager or whatever the case may be. And it wasn't until I transitioned from being a bank manager to being a loan officer where I started doing the first time home buyer seminars. And I present in front of 50, 60 people, and I teach them on how to understand the mortgage process, and I simplify it. And when people would wait afterwards to talk to me or just to thank me, to say, no one has ever explained this process the way you do. No one has ever made it seem like I can achieve the dream of home ownership. I remember, and I've only been doing this for 3 years. I remember standing back and saying, this is my calling. Like, this is it. And so sometimes you don't even know what your why is. Like, you just are thrown into it. Like, I didn't know what it was, right? I just knew, okay, it was a job. I figure I can, my thought process was, if I can manage 15 people under me in a bank, I can manage myself and still be successful. That was legit why I transitioned from being a bank manager to being a loan officer. But as I started really giving back, and like what I really do is I focus on low to moderate income individuals, low to moderate income areas, as well as to minorities. So, I'm giving back to the community, and then to like start the process of doing a class, then that person comes to me. I have people that call me a year, 2 years later, India, I sat in your class in Patterson, I want to buy a home. And then to do, so to go from the mortgage process, the seminar, then the mortgage, and then to know that we hit the closing table and they never thought that they can do this. And to have that, it gives you so much life. Right? Because it's like when I do those seminars, I don't get paid for that. I get paid to close loans. I don't get paid for the volunteering that I do and giving back to the community. And so for me, that was the why. And I said, okay, like I've always was told that I speak well and that I can, talk in front of a group very well. For years, that was always a compliment that was given to me. And again, from when I was 20 to now 38, we're talking 18 years. Now, as I was like, okay, this is the gift. This is what I'm supposed to do. This is how I give back. And this is what God wants me to do. He wants me to help people. So now flipping it even to live streaming and in the community that we're in, I don't talk to you guys about mortgages if you guys want me to, okay? But what I really do is just help you guys, right? Like it's, India, how do you do the NDI? That's how me and David met. I did that video and David was like, India, you explained it in such a way, right? And so for me, whatever I'm talking about, as long as I'm helping people and giving back to the community, that's what I know is what's going to help propel me. And it's not, like if we talk about last week, we were talking about this. I was talking about this with Lola and Fulgens about where people were saying, you need to do your buy me a coffee. You need to do buy me a coffee. And I was like, not that I was lazy, but it doesn't, when I jump on the stream, I don't come from the place of asking people. I come from the place of, y'all my family. I'm going to gain new family. Let me help out. And if one person in that live stream says, thank you, you helped me with whatever it is, I did what I sought out to do. And then, but then it goes back to, I know like Alicio has spoken about this, and it was someone else. I don't remember who else in the group, but you also have to think about sometimes you need to let that person give you the blessing sometimes. So don't block your blessings, right? Because there's something within them that they have to give you that blessing, and you have to receive it at that point. You need to be okay, and you need to come from a place of receiving. And it's weird, right? Because you don't want, when you're people like us that we just give and give and give, you don't expect anything. It's like, no, we're good. Just a thank you. That's all I want. All I want is just a thank you. And if I don't get that, that's okay, because I'll get it somewhere else. But now it's about changing that mindset of also letting someone give you their blessing and receiving their blessing, whatever way that looks like.
Yeah, I've definitely, those are the things that we share, because that is a point of giving, because you have to, it's the cycle of giving. And so at the point before the cycle can go back to stage one, so to speak, the giver needs to receive. And ultimately we'll talk about that in different broadcast, because I think it's a powerful conversation to have. Because a lot of people think that giving is drawing out from a well that will not be supplied. But we got to understand that when you give, there's a well, there's a mountain flowing that's feeding that well, and so we have to receive, otherwise that well will run out. But David, I haven't heard from you in a large part yet, man. Share a little bit on this idea of perseverance and kind of serving.
Awesome. Well, here we go.
I said awesome.
I think, Chris nailed it when he said, his why, when you know your why and stuff. And I've been doing business a certain way for quite a while, because I believe that it's the way that business should be done. And I don't know that I invented this word or came up with this word. Some of my friends say that they've never heard it before. I know Doc's heard it.
It's a dockable.
But I did a talk, and this was in 2017, and I did a talk called, CoOppetition, while banding together with your competition can help your business grow. And I had this concept and idea of, not so much being secretive and hiding everything that keeping it to yourself, but sharing it, with your community, and in particular, and even your competitors, how that can help your business grow. And because what happened was, I was in this community that was very similar to the Let's Get Live spirit of giving community. And I wanted to help these people. I didn't want to compete against them. And I felt like if we helped each other, that we would all, a rising tide raises all ships. I forget how that saying goes, but
that's about right.
I'm telling you that's what happened. So, the flip side of that is that when you have that philosophy and that mindset of giving, people are cynical, and they think that, oh, what's he want? What are they after? What are they going to get? And they don't realize that it's just, hey, I want to help you. I want to help you. I want to be helpful. I have no, ulterior motive. I don't want to, it's just to be helpful, because I know that if I help you, it's going to benefit me, whether spiritually, emotionally, mentally, psychologically.
Yeah.
It's going to benefit me greatly. So I have kind of persevered with that message of just it. You're not my competitor. You're my friend, and it's okay if we do the same thing. There's 7 billion people on planet Earth, and there's plenty to go around, and we can all be successful, and we can all help each other. So, but I remember when WordCamp, Phoenix accepted that talk, it meant the most to me, because I travel around and do WordPress talks and stuff at WordCamps and whatnot. And I had been wanting to do that one for a while, and I'd kept presenting it to them and stuff. And in a lot of ways, the WordPress ecosystem is very similar to that in a giving spirit. It's open source. It's free to everybody. Anyone can jump in and use it and improve upon it and help it and participate. So it that has kind of been I've been really fortunate, and I've fallen into the place where, my tribe or community where I've met amazing giving people and stuff, and been able to help kind of foster that and stuff. So it's been awesome. And LGL was like perfect timing. It was perfect for me too, because I didn't realize how much how much I needed you guys, how much I needed y'all, at my point to make me realize really what was important, because I was on a path with a trajectory to go here, and it literally changed because of the LGL community and stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, Lynn.
No, that was good, bro. I just in this journey of kind of really exploring and in this new marketplace where giving really has become the greatest commodity, right? It's the givers that are being given platforms. It's the givers that are being given stages. It's those of us that are not holding back our knowledge that people are inviting in the stages and inviting into platforms to speak. And I want to talk a little bit because I kind of started it with that fear mentality. There are people that fear giving because they fear the moocher. They fear the taker. What do you say about them?
I say that a long time ago, a wise man with a name extremely hard to pronounce said to me, the tree is not afraid to give its gifts. The tree is not afraid of the next season.
That's right. Who was that?
I'm letting it marinate for a second.
Marinate.
I'm letting them marinate.
Oh, right.
Just let that sit right there.
That was Lemuel on YouTube. He said it, and we were on a call, and it was like Pastor Keith, Pastor Edge, Strick, Lim, myself, and we were just like, oh. It was one of those like triple, like, get in the brain. I was like, okay, I'm back. And I was like, whoa, bruh. And he's like, I just thought of that. But it was true. It's super true, right? Like the tree is not afraid to give its gifts. Like the animals come through, the people come through. Like, even if you shake a tree, you doing it a favor because you dropping seeds and them seeds get carried away by something and they turn into something else.
I wish I said that.
So, you did say that. Right, you have no idea. I have a laser engraving company, but that is laser engraved in my dome. Like, bruh, that moved mountains for a brother. You have no freaking idea. Like, I cannot tell you. You know, the number one thing that irritates me the most about our quote unquote situation, everybody's like, I would love to be able to get together with my friends and my family and just, be able to give each other a hug or whatever like that. And I'm not saying I don't love my family because I miss my sisters a lot, but I want to come and see y'all. Like, I want to go somewhere and like, just give Linwell a big hug. He's 5'4", so I can pick him up and carry him around. Hearing what Chrissy said any other day, bruh, I got 200 and something thousand Hawaiian miles. I'd have been in the plane, bro. If you told me that during Vlogmas and I could, I would have been TSA, get your hand off my butt. Like, I'd have been through, and then just being able to hug you in person. And then like talking to David today and knowing how much I miss food in Portland, I would have been like, bro, you head that way, I'll head that way. Your 5-hour drive, my 5-hour flight. We'll land in PDX and we'll go to the Apple Store in Pioneer Square and fix your business account and eat some food while we're there. Catch up kombucha. So it's crazy, but like I can't tell you how much the quote unquote teacher has been taught values from all of you guys, including young Sammy. Like, young Sammy is a fount of wisdom in his, adorkable self. We learn all kinds of things from him, even if it's nothing more than being in touch with our youths. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sammy, every once in a while, would drop a nugget, and I just go home, and I'm just like, bro, I just got schooled by a 17-year-old. And proud of it. Like, I ain't afraid to. I'm not like what TLC ain't too proud to beg or whatever the heck that song was. I'm not afraid to say it.
Funny, I get what you mean.
I don't think it's that for that reason.
I know, but you know what I'm saying. But I'm not too proud to admit that you guys are teaching me as much as I pretend to think I'm teaching you. Like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. It's just the reciprocity. There's the word.
Yeah.
The reciprocity in our family. Look that one up, India. I know you went to school in Jersey.
No, I went to school in Brooklyn. Actually, it was in Manhattan.
Oh, if you was in Manhattan, you're good. You're smart.
I went to school in Manhattan, actually.
Actually. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is This is too deep right now. I'm
Yeah,
starting to
I
lose
wanna
it.
actually go a little deeper. I mean,
Really
now,
though, you and that shovel, dude. Put that thing
no, I
away.
do. I do.
Right.
Because I
I
mean,
think he's
look,
still
one
raking
of
his
our
leaves.
one of our folks, and not to shout her out, but she just brings up um, a really heavy thought, I think, and if I find it. But anyway, I think Joanna just said, we got to be careful with those people that just take and take and take and take.
Yep. Yeah, I saw it.
And
Yep.
and I just say, you can't be afraid of those people.
Yep. Yep.
You can't be afraid of those people, because if you are motivated by the takers, by the fear that the takers will take, you may miss your appointment with the givers that are going to give.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are facts right there. That's the thing. Like, yeah, as soon as let me explain something to you. Okay. I don't know how to explain this, but I'm gonna explain it to you. Okay?
Let me explain something.
Okay. Listen. Everybody come close, turn up your mics, get a notebook, whatever the case may be. This joint right here is a 32-ounce cup. Let's just pretend this is your giving cup. It's full. So even if somebody came by and drank all of this joint, and I open my cup, you're like, which one of y'all clowns drank my tea? It's empty now. You know what it's good for? More tea. If it was still full, because I was like this, don't touch my tea. I could never get more than them 32 ounces. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if I take these 32 ounces, maybe I drink about 6, maybe I give away about 20. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody came and stole the last little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and somebody stole the last 6, just to let y'all know I can add. It's now empty, and it's space for another 32 ounces of tea.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Marinate on that.
Marinate on that. Yeah, I've got friends of mine that that I know in the WordPress world that own companies and stuff, product companies, and they're consumed with the people that take their stuff, or and they're always trying to like write it. And I'm not bragging or anything, but in the Divi world in WordPress, my company is the #1 company in the world.
Hey, you got to share that though, because people don't understand they don't quite understand the power of the giving economy.
Yeah.
They have to understand that the giving economy produces wealth. They don't understand that. There's a fear. So those of us that are givers and who's received from the giving that they've done, we have to speak about it, because it liberates people from their fears. So go ahead.
Yeah, because they are like, they're consumed with, all of these things that I'm just not consumed with. I don't worry about it. It's okay. We give away way more things for free than we ever do in our business world. And they can't really kind of understand, how can you give everything away? How can you do that? And, it just comes back, I mean, I just know that it does. I can't explain to you why. I can't tell you, hey, this is why this has happened in my life and in the people's lives that I see and I mentor. I can't tell you why. I just know that for whatever reason, if you do this, you're going to be blessed beyond measure. And those friends that are consumed with the takers, and making sure that they have everything shored up just right, and they're trying to protect themselves and protect that cup of 32-ounce tea, like Doc was just kind of saying. They're unhappy. They're not happy. Yeah. They look miserable. They're just not happy and stuff. And
because if we're motivated by fear, we cannot move. You can't move forward motivated by the thing that you fear is going to keep you from moving forward. The only way to move forward is to fight the fear that will push against you, and that's the beautiful thing about it. And I think I have an answer for why people that give open up to great gains. And number one is because the givers begin to be trusted. That's the number one thing. Givers are trusted. And when you're trusted, confidence rises in the people that you're giving to. And when confidence settles in, then you begin to be a resource, because people are going to say, you know what? if I go to David, or if I go to Sylvia, or if I go to Doc, he's going to take what I need and return it. And I know for sure he's not going to take from me. So you become a resource. And when the resource, when you become a resource, then you become a reliance. I have to rely on you now. And that's how givers gain. You become the relying force for the thing that I need. You know, I heard somebody on Clubhouse the other day, and I actually made a video about it. And she is like, "Look, I'm watching videos so that I can compete, so I could beat the other YouTubers." And it just something triggered in me. And I know Doc has said it, and many people have said it. And I said, look, if you're gonna look at other YouTubers, content creators as competition, you are not gonna win, because they're not competition; they're colleagues. And you know what they do? Instead of looking at them as competition, you got to see them as servers. We're all trying to meet us. We're trying to meet a pain point. We're trying to serve people. If you're gonna watch YouTube videos to find out what your competitors, quote unquote, are doing, do so with the mindset of, where can I fit in the serving economy?
Yeah,
where can I fit in the giving economy?
Yeah.
Go ahead, India. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, you know, you look at it from how can you grow? It's just people are never going to be in the same place, right? You're never going to have the same skill sets or whatever. And we were talking about this, you know, in our chat with Doc and stuff. You can't be the smartest one in the group always, because then how are you going to, you know, level up? How are you going to challenge yourself? You have to have a mix. You do have to be sometimes the smartest one in the groups, because then that's you giving back. But then you have to place yourself in an environment where you're open to grow and where you're open to learn. So it's, you just gotta, the fear from me, when you think about fear, I don't think about it. It's from me, when I look at it, even from another person's perspective, is they have something going on with them that has nothing to do with me.
That's good,
I'm
girl.
still gonna give myself wholeheartedly.
Oh, that's so good.
Because at the end of the day, when I give myself wholeheartedly, they may or may not see, and it may not, right? It may not be their season, because it's like we've all said, it's about seasons. So I may have stepped out of that season of growth that they're currently in, and I can't hold their fear against them, because fear is just kind of the unknown. That's what fear is. You don't know. So I'm not going to hold it against you about the unknown. As long as you don't disrespect me, then we're good. You know, just keep it moving. That's all.
David, you're thinking the same thing I was thinking about Sylvia and Andrew, because Sylvia said,
"Oh yeah,
Andrew,
I can see them."
And shout this out. They're up there grooving right now with all of the fire.
I want to hear from Chris. I want to hear from the champion. Yeah. Come on, bro.
Hey.
Come on.
You know, when you look at it from
before you get him, for a person who's meted or with such difficulty and could have hidden under fears.
You know, it's because of the perspective of a giver. Givers don't fear running out. Givers only focus on the overflow.
Yeah.
I don't fear running out. So when it came through Vlogmas, the only thing I knew to focus on was faith, right? What can I do with what I have to help other people? So I don't know where India was in her life. I don't know where Doc was, David. I don't know where you were, but I knew that I can become a giver in all of your lives just by supporting, right? So I don't fear about what I don't have. I don't have to fear. I don't have my brother to call anymore. I don't have to fear. No one's going to love me. I'm going to feel alone in the pandemic. My people are dying. I don't have to fear any of that, because I'm so focused on the overflow that I can give and give and give and give. And every time you give, there's a law: seed time and harvest. They go together. So anytime that I can sow a seed and be support and to give, there's always a harvest. There's always a harvest. I don't doubt that. So when I show up and Doc empowers me, Lim empowers me, you guys shout me out, or you guys do something, that's just a harvest of something I've done before. So people could come and try to take. I don't feel running out, because until my last breath, I'm going to find a way to continue to give, and all my needs are going to be met. And I don't have to worry about how. That's none of my business.
Bond says something here. He says it here, and maybe we could.
That's good.
And we could answer it a little bit. There's a fine line in giving, though. Giving hurts when people become reliant on the giver. That's why this group works. Everyone is learner and wants to grow and then give what they've received. Anybody want to share their thought on that one?
Yeah, that was the key. That was the key, Vaughn. I mean, you went through the sign up. I had 3 questions, bro. I had 3 questions. You fitting to behave? Are you fitting to take what you learned and share it with the next one? Sorry, my Jamaican slips every once in a while. The last one, what's your email? That was my questions. I had 3 questions for you. Like a lot of groups, they got all kind of questions. And so like, my questions were simple. You finna behave? Are you going to pay it for it? What's your email? Because I need it just in case I decide to sell some tickets or sell everybody a Steve Jobs shirt like Mr. Gloss.
Yeah.
You know I was going to say it. Sooner or later, Chris. You know I was going to get you.
That's why I put it on. I said, I'm not going to say something.
Bruh, I got to tell you, man. I like what David put about you being the possibilitarian.
Yeah.
Like, fam, that is so strong what you just said, man. That's just what you just said. It's so strong. And yeah, like givers don't fear running out, bro. It's a true story.
Yeah, there's a mentality.
Man.
Yeah, there's a mentality because I posted about giving and a comment from my timeline said, but what if you don't have a lot? And I was like, that's because you're putting your mind on your lack mentality. You have a lack mentality. And so when you have a lack mentality, all you see is what you don't have. But if you have an abundance mentality, all you see is what you can gain, and what you have on the inside. And so people are afraid of losing stuff that replenishes.
I also think it's like
moderator in here.
I also think that you said, what if you don't have to give is a lot, but what if your definition is not a lot is a lot to somebody else? You don't know. Like we all said it tonight. We each said, like Chris just said, I don't know where India was in her life. I don't know where David was in his life, right? So it's also that person's definition of a little bit may be someone else's definition of a lot. So for us to say 1 or 2, 3 different sentences that we may be like, that was nothing. And we have think about that. How many times have someone said thank you to you and you're like, man, don't even think about it. That was nothing. Like, please, I didn't do nothing for you. But that something in your mind that was nothing was something big for someone because you don't know where they're at in their life. You don't know where they're in their season. So for me, that's another thing. Like, your little bit is mountains for someone else. So just give.
I mean, to coattail on what you just said, to grab the coattail of what you just said. And I mean, I'm just so grateful for Chris sharing what he shared tonight because it's just such foundational for the conversation that we're having here. Much like Martin Luther King, who could have looked at all the losses, all the people that have died before him. The singer singing about the peculiar fruit, right? And really be afraid and be like, you know what, I'm going to find my death if I step out and give of myself into this abyss that who knows where it might end up. I don't know if I'm going to do anything, but let me give anyway. And to that foundation where there's loss, you could see that David came from a point where he's not saying, look what I've lost, but rather look what I have.
Nice.
I mean, Chris, I'm sorry. Look what I have. And so from his place of abundance, he could have really looked at what he just lost. But instead of looking at his loss, he's like, I've just found this community. And from my place of abundance, I'm going to pour out and give. And from his giving, it flowed in more joy. It flowed in more power. It flowed in more words. It flowed in. And the thing that we could have looked at and said, man, that's a lot of loss. He said, look, guys, I've just gained some things that I never thought I had.
Yeah.
Now, I want to. No, I just want to look at what Joanna says because this is an important conversation.
I was going to answer that.
Yeah.
She said, I'm an executive assistant, so the more I give to my boss and colleagues, the more they get lazy and suddenly don't know how to do things on their own. Somebody speak on that.
I was going to speak on that. There's a simple way to handle that. There are 1 or 2 things. Number 1 is that's a different type of giving, but
Right.
because they don't really need it. They don't really need it. They're just, sort of taking advantage or exploiting. But it is hard for the exploitive person to continue to do that when you find a way to nicely let them know
Right.
that they're doing it, because they're humans at the end.
Yeah.
And so there's a way to say, man, with all the extra time I'm giving you, I hope you're giving somebody else extra time. I hope you're paying it forward, in a funny way. You could joke about it.
Right.
It's like, oh, now since I did that for you, you got extra time. I hope you're using that time to give to charity or do something else. Like just put it on them. Put it on them. Explain to them how they need to play it forward, but do it in a nice way. And it'd be kind of hard.
Mhm.
It's like in the store, right? In the store, in every bodega in the whole entire New York, there's a bowl full of pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the things in the store, pennies, quarters, whatever, all the things in the store to steal, nobody scoops the pennies and run. They just don't.
Right.
Because
Oh,
that's a little too Richard move. I was like, how can I fix that? You know what I mean? So that's a little bit too much of a Richard move. So there's ways to do it, to let it know, like, here is this offering. I hope with the extra time that you have, because I'm going to take care of this task for you, that you can use this to spend a little extra quality time with your son, or spend a little extra quality time down at the soup kitchen or something. You put it on them. Ask them, how are they going to get, if I do this for you, how are you going to pay it forward? You figure out that question and they'll stop. They just straight stop. They can't do it.
right.
And the people that can, they're narcissistic, and you need to get away from them regardless of the cost, because that will cancer you. You can't be around. No, man, we went through it for 4 years. We can't be around narcissists. You just
Well,
can't.
let me ask you guys. Have you guys experienced that before, and how did you correct that? I mean, Doc has given us an incredible way to approach it. But anybody here on this panel experienced that?
Walk. Have the confidence to walk, because trust me, I've done it. We've all done it. Whether you know it or not, we've all done it. But something got you out of it. But at some point in time, even kick dog how. Watch Chloe went.
Yeah. I think I got the greatest advice from Oprah Winfrey on that, because I struggled with giving at certain points in my life, just because people felt like they can take from you or they can get you, right? And some people feel like, oh, I got him for that, but they never knew that there was really so much more I allocated towards them that they really didn't get me. But it would lead to frustration, because sometimes you don't see it coming back to you. You don't see that reciprocity that Doc talked about. But here's the thing that Oprah said one time. On one of her shows, it's funny how these strange things happen. And she said, when you give, and don't look for it to come back.
Yeah.
Don't give if you don't have it to give. So when you give, don't expect it to come back, and don't worry about the attitude or the position that the other person is in. Say, oh, they're takers. That's none of your business. Don't let them stop you from giving, because your giving is connecting you to something so much bigger. So when you give, like if I give you something, it's gone. I'm not looking forward to come back. I'm not even looking for you to do a favor for me. I'm not looking for nothing back, because it's that act of giving. For me, I look at it just like sowing a seed. I put that seed in the ground. Whenever it comes up, if it ever comes up, fine. If it don't, I'm not reliant on giving something that I gave out of abundance.
Yes, I say that all the time, bro. I say that all the time. When you give something, you shouldn't be sitting around hoping that you're going to get it back. The minute you stop thinking about it, getting it back or whatever, it'll actually come back. And in most cases, it'll come back folded. And y'all know what I'm saying, right? So what you just said was facts.
You know what also is that the authenticity of the giving is going to help you. If you're not authentic with the giving, then it's a job and a task, and tasks and jobs can get really heavy soon enough. So if you're not if you're doing this for a task, you're not really giving to your boss, and that's the reason why they are doing what they're doing. What's happening is you're meeting a need, but not really giving to them. And I think, if I may, there is an effective way of giving. And when we talk about giving, I think people have a different a consciousness about giving. They just think of like, I'm going to dump my money and do all of that stuff. I mean, I think of giving like Eliseo gave, right, Doc? Right, when he was in our private message, and he still is. You know, he gave to a group of people that he understood was good soil.
Yeah.
Right, because even Jesus said this. He said it on his scripture. He said, "Don't throw your pearls before swine."
Yes.
So if you have a gift and if you're a giving spirit, you've got to learn the effective way of giving. Much like Martin Luther King, right? Because the man did not just give, he gave effectively. And that's what makes it generational.
You're not going to throw seeds in the fire. It's just
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they can't grow if you do that. You throw seeds where they can get wet in some sunlight and do their thing.
Yeah, you got to be effective in your giving. Like David even said that he was giving into his enemy, so to speak. He's in competition, but he understands that all of this is going to return back to him. You got to qualify. I understand. Like we're saying, give. Don't mistaken what I'm saying as giving like without any type of understanding where you're giving. Like I am in front of these people in the panel because I know the capacity to receive. And so my giving is within the mode of fertile ground. Right? Right. You know, Jesus talked about the 4 types of soil. And he said you could throw into this soil that doesn't make seeds grow, but I think we understand also that if you continue throwing to a place that does not grow, he's going to come to you and say, you understand you threw that 5 times over there. You either break up that fallow ground, either you break up that bad soil or that poor soil, and make sure it returns to you what you sowed in. So you've got to check out where you're giving, you know, and so because you're going to get frustrated giving into areas that do not grow. You're going to be frustrated pouring water into drains that are into puddles that will cause mosquitoes.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, and there's a time when you know when it's time to pull back the giving and stuff.
Right.
So we talked about kind of the takers and whatnot, and you know, I think most people know when it's time. You know what? I'm no longer helping this person. I'm hurting them. Kind of what Vaughn was talking about and stuff. You know, and I think
there's
each
no
person
way
knows
I'm
that.
giving. There's no way I'm giving some high quality like Royce Japanese dark chocolate to Miss D. She only wants that white chocolate.
Throw it out. Like she gonna look at you like, man.
I mean, I think that's where I think that's where Doc. That's where you're kind of going in. That's why you have now a private group. You have your office hours. You have all these areas because there's a point in time where you have to understand that the givers, the people that you're giving want to receive more, and the more you give, they want to have a return because then the value point increases. Right? When I begin to put a value in the things I give, then I know the soil I'm sowing in. Oh my gosh.
Yes, and you know what they're doing? They're coming to get the lessons that they can turn around and give back to someplace else too.
Right.
And so that is like the move to me right there. You know what I mean? Like it's like let me get some extra learning how to do this stuff because I want to turn around and give it to somebody else. You know, and so that's why I'm always amazed when I find the experts that we have in our group and what they're doing to do their giving, right? When I see like, you know, Brother Fully, man, he was so slick and reserved and just being quiet. And turns out like he's running nonprofits to help nonprofits be more giving. And I'm like, what? Say that again. And he's like, I teach nonprofits how to get their steeds. Wow. Like, yo, I thought you was just knucklehead about the green screen, insist on doing it. I didn't know it was like that, you know, or then Brant's out here, you know, giving to the farmers and stuff, like teaching them how to pivot. So he's out here doing his thing, helping these farmers with their nonprofit, doing their thing. And, you know, it's like, man, it's crazy, right? I go to Messrs. Linwell one day, he got his stethoscope on, he going to go visit folks. And then I'm like, what the heck are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm a nurse. I got to go see these folks. I'm like, Filipino, of course he's a nurse. Why did you think of that? you know. But he's out there, putting himself in danger, straight up. Like, I don't care what you folks think or what you believe or what kind of smoke you even smoke, but hey, this fool is putting himself in danger to make sure these folks feel comforted and cared
Yeah.
for, and then come back and spit craziness to us.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Like, period, point blank, incredible. So, man, yeah, it's nuts, man. And you know what? I feel right now, like, I'm a believer of like setting these intentions, right? What I can't explain to y'all is up until recently, like this year, I pretty much hated Christmas because it would just bring up all kind of like feels and weirdness and like, separation anxiety and whatever like brain words you want to throw around. Like, I pretty much hated it. And this year, Karen says to me, "Is like, man, for the holiday season, you kind of been in a good mood." And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, me, idiot. I'm like, I don't know. Turned out it's y'all, like, showing up every day for y'all, right. and like, critiquing folks and then cracking up and watching Lola and Kelly go hard and ladies night and Michelle the fans and like being there for Miss D's glow up when she hit her 10K, like all of these things. Like, I was in a good mood from y'all every day, including like all of them video making and stuff like that. So like, this is the first Christmas in a very long time. I'm elderly, way more bad ones than good ones. Like, I left home at like 17. So I hated Christmas all of this time but this Christmas, I was singing. Like one of them Burl Ives, them animations that used to come on with, the Rudolph and stuff. And then, so like, even that shows, like, I was able to not be the a-hole salting Christmas for the rest of my family.
Mr. Grinch. That used to be you.
I was like, the me one, Mr. Grinch. I was straight up bah humbug. But this Christmas, I was like last Christmas, I'm like singing and like whatever.
Right? Right?
Yeah. This Christmas.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway.
All right, anyway, now let's get it going. Let's get it going.
It was just dope, man. It was dope. And so sometimes, like, it's what it takes, man, to self-heal. You know what I mean? So I'm ready. I'm fired up. And so I just want to say to Joe, like, if your boss and them is being like that, then let's just set the attention to get you out of that. Let's just set the attention to put them. How about that boss is, when you mad at your boss, is you staring in the mirror? How about we get you there? Then we don't have to worry about this kind of, I can't say bad words on limb stream, but you know what I mean.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Mierda. How about we get you like that? How about we set you up so that you stare yourself in the mirror every day and you say, I'm fitting to change this situation that I'm in. So when I'm mad at my boss, I am mad at Miss Johanna Swan, period. That's the only boss I get to be mad at.
That's
How about we work at that? How about we work towards that? And if you need help, bro, we have an entire menu of business professionals in our group. You could be like, today, let me talk to Mr. Gloss or Mr. Blackman or Mr. Henri or Miss Delgado or Miss Gladney. You have like an entire menu. I'll take a Gladney with a buttery Chardonnay. At this point, hey, you know what, my friend sister, you do not have to take that crap much longer. Let's just set a date. Let's set an intention. Let's go to your calendar and get a red Sharpie and set a date. By this date, I will walk into them and be like, the last thing I'm going to give you is a resignation. Oh, and bring a fan. Very important. Before you do that, bring one of Michelle's fans and be like, peace out.
Wow.
I forgot how to say bye, friends. Au revoir. That's it.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. I'm going to watch football.
Au revoir.
Out of there.
Peace.
That's what I'm
Gentlemen, this has been,
love
and
that.
lady, this has been just an incredible conversation. I just so thank you. I want to go around just to kind of finish us off in this last segment and just to share a little bit of the generational giving that Dr. Martin Luther King has been. I want to preface it and kind of like put a little foundation on the talk is that look at us right now. We have all types of culture and color represented here, and for a long time, I've kind of had that imbalance in myself whether or not I could champion Dr. King, whether or not me as a Filipino, black, or non-part of that community can champion a man like Dr. King, even though he was my first American hero. And I realized that Dr. King is colorless in a sense, though he stood for the black community and their struggles, that indeed every injustice, an injustice to one man is injustice to all, and freedom for one man is freedom for all. And whatever he did for the black community, he did for all communities. And so it's a spiritual matter to me. I was thinking about it today. I kind of got a little bit emotional about it because of the fact that sometimes we relegate these heroes to groups of people when in reality we are here today because of a work that he's done, because of his fearlessness and because of his serve mentality, and because he woke up every day knowing that he wasn't waking up for himself. My God. I'm getting a little emotional, but he woke up not for himself, but for a community that needed his insight, his ability to speak, and his ability to move people, his generosity, his charisma, and we are here today, black, white, Hispanic, and Asian, here representing a very diverse Let's Get Live community in a season of isolation and pandemic, where now we're united, and that we can celebrate his life for what he's done, and because of what he's done, we are here today having this incredible conversation about giving. So that's my take on it. Go ahead. I guess we go with Chris since he's far. We go from the top, and
Well, thanks. Really, first of all, thank you so much for this conversation tonight, and it's just an honor sitting on this stage, this platform with all of you, and having the whole entire LGL community inside of the chat and cracking up the whole time. So thank you for that. My biggest memory that I'm walking away with from this moment about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is when he talked about how we are all tied to the same garment of destiny, right? And I believe that we're, each and every one of us in this community, in our lives, and our family, we're headed to a very special place, a place of abundance, a place of joy, a place of happiness, a place of everything that we could ever possibly desire. I think we're headed there, and the only thing we needed was a vehicle. So I believe personally that LGL is that vehicle that we all, just like you mentioned, all the diversity, we all can get inside this vehicle or this bus or this plane, the 757, whatever it is. And we are all headed to that place. We needed a vehicle. And I believe that vehicle was birthed out of Doc. And all of us have came together from all the various struggles we've been through, joys we've been through, and we're here together, and we're going to that same place because we're all tied to it. So now we're together. It's just forward. So thank you so much for letting me be a part of tonight.
thank you for being here.
All right.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, you killed it for having to go first on the last right there. You knocked it out of the park. I was like, please don't pick me, Lynn. Please don't pick me. I couldn't agree more than with what you said. I think the LGL community is very special. It is extremely diverse. And because of its diversity and the platforms that we have with the internet and the voice that we do have the ability and the power to help change hearts. Because I think at the core, everybody's hearts, they know, right and wrong. And I think it's going to take us banding together, arm in arm, not one community arm in arm with your own community, but each of us from our different communities banding together and stuff with that same powerful message and stuff. Lem, Thank you for inviting me to participate in this. This was a very big honor and stuff. So I really am glad. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
You know, when I look at what you put, generational giving, for me, what I think about is me and my little brother. And, you know, I'm going through a rough time right now. Some of you guys know I'm going through a rough situation in my life, and I had to come and stay with my brother in Pittsburgh. My brother's 10 years younger than me, so I'm 38, he's 28. He's always been the baby, and my first weekend here, like I cried and cried and cried, and he was trying to help me bring all my stuff from the car and stuff. And then I had him driving all over Pittsburgh because I had to get my office set up, right? And I remember we was sitting in his living room, and he looked at me and he said, "Thank you.
Mm.
I'm so happy you're here," he said, "because if you weren't here, I would have been smoking weed and just not doing anything because I've been, you know, my mom is here with him, but she's working and doing her own thing." He was like, "You know, I just would have been alone, and you're just keeping me distracted, and I love helping you." And that was mind blowing because here I was, I needed my brother, right? Like I needed a place to stay. I needed someone to console me. I needed my family. And my mind was so far away from my brother needing me. Right. And so me just being there and having him run around with me. And I kept asking him, I'm like, "Are you tired? Are you okay?" Because he works overnight. "Are you tired? Are you okay? You can leave me alone. I'll work on the desk." Right. And he was like, "If you ask me," like the way Doc yells at me, "if you ask me one more time, I'll tell you when I'm tired." You know, but when he said that, he did. But you know, when he said that to me, it made me stop. So again, the generational giving is about, I came here and I was put in this place where I needed to give, and I didn't even know I needed to give, right? I gave to my little brother. And then it goes back to then just giving when you are doing what you're doing from a sincere place and giving from an open heart. You don't even know you're giving. And it goes back to what we said, where something for you may mean menial, it may mean nothing, and that moves mountains for people. And my brother helped me to realize that at the first weekend of this year. So for me, with, you know, what we're talking about today, yeah, Diana, exactly. I was needed and I didn't even know it, right? You know,
That's why you gotta
that's what that
continue
means
giving,
to
man.
me. So
'Cause you
I'm
just
grateful to have that opportunity.
Thank you for sharing that, India. That's powerful.
Amen.
You're
Man.
very
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Amen.
Man, it's kind of crazy, right? So our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. Hashtag Martin Luther King. We're talking today because of Brother Lem about giving, and in a time where everybody is feeling myriad amount of feelings for myriad sort of reasons, having to do with the situation, having to do with the other situation, having to do with like loneliness or despair or wanting or just anxiety, like all of the above. The fact that we sat here today and had a conversation about giving means we're not going to be silent about the thing that matters. Even when you have nothing, you're breathing, right? Hands work, back work, feet work, you can give something. Maybe you can't give dollars, but maybe you can give time. Maybe you can give time to just call someone and check on them. Hey, yo, how you doing, fam? Oh, man, I was just thinking about you. And next thing you know, it's an hour conversation. You just catch up with one of your friends you ain't spoke. Go to your phone book, stop on somebody, and then call them. And although our postal system is slightly held hostage, because I sent a package to Keith 2 weeks ago, it's still talking about arriving. Bust out a pen and a paper and write a note to some random person in your address book. Because what they getting right now is bills and late notices.
Oh, wow. That's powerful,
and
Doc.
you know what I'm saying?
Doc.
They
Wow.
getting all of this angry crap in
Wow.
their mail, and then all of a sudden they get a message from India, que lo que? You're like, what? Hey, girl, hey.
Corny.
You know, as my girl
Don't
Jessica Stansbury always says, hey, girl, hey. You know, so yeah, like, yeah, you can text them, but that's whatever. I mean, that works, but I mean, get an actual piece of paper and an actual pencil and write some joints down and send it to some folks.
Go old style.
Just old style. Yo, I got a letter in the mail from my homie Yui. She's a DJ. She's a small little tiny Korean girl. And like I guess her and her girlfriend was like at the outs and she was feeling kind of sad. And so Yui just sat down and started sending letters to her friends to cheer us up because she wasn't feeling good. And I get the letter from Yui and 2 little stickers, just like, you know, Hyung, that's like big brother, you know, Hyung, thank you for always being there. Love you. And I was just like, I got a physical letter from somebody who lived 4 blocks from me. Like, Yui could have been like, yo, can you meet me outside? I just need to vent. And she just wrote letters, you know, and that just reminded me, like, yo, just reach out and touch somebody. Like, that's corny, old school TV statement or whatever the heck it is. But like, yeah, if that's what we finna do, just remember, like, even if you don't think you have it, like somebody mentioned in the thing back up in there, you can do something. You don't think you have something to give? Call American Red Cross and ask them if they need some help. They would not be like, nah, fam, we got this.
You know, Doc, that's so incredible because when I started this year, normally, you know, I for those of you that do not know, I'm a pastor, so I pastor a church in Staten Island online, obviously, and normally every year, and a nurse, yes, and a photographer.
He's Jamaican. He got more than one job.
Yes. But I normally start like every year is like new you, brand new you, new year, new you. But this year I said, new year, old things. Let's go back to the old things, the things that are core, the concrete things, the things that makes us Christians, you know, prayer, Bible reading, all those things that are old. And I'm just hearing that, you know, there's just something about those connection points. And, you know, and today I'm just so glad. I hope, like, my heart is just so overjoyed. Could you imagine that? That's crazy, right? We spent about an hour, 2 hours together, and you would think you'd get exhausted, and you physically maybe, but your spirit is so overjoyed. And I'm grateful for you guys for being here. I'm grateful for you guys saying yes, and for the LGL family up in all of them streets in those comments. And I just appreciate everybody. And man, I don't even know how to end this. How do you end this?
I put it right there, right? We all learned something today, right? And we learned something because we're trying. And so, like I just put Maya Angelou, you know better when you do better. So do better.
Yeah.
Right.
Boom. There you go.
Love that. Love that.
With that said, let's.
Uh-oh.
Y'all, here we go, y'all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Ring that notification bell. Like that puppy. We thank you guys. This is your boy. Hashtag Lem Drops. Until next Monday, everybody. 8:30 for now. 8 p.m. come February. Much love to everybody. Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, David. Thank you, India. Peace, everyone. Peace and love and everything fine.
Boom.
Here.
Thanks, guys. All right, how's that? Let's go.